they have to be washed and sorted. And this is the machine. It's called the sorting machine. And if you can visualize Lucy and Ethel at the candy machine, okay? You know them. You know them. I know you know them. The bad berries would get picked out and put in this box here, and the good ones are going to go down into the cardboard boxes. And these are the berries that you would buy in the supermarket, at a farmer's market, or anything like that. These are the berries that you would use in baking. You would not use wet picked berries in baking. Unless you use craisins, you could make muffins with craisins. But anyway, so this type of machine is still in use on a larger, I've seen them like 3 times as big, but it's still the same principle. And there used to be a picture here of, I don't know why it was always the ladies, but they were all lined up either on an individual machine or a couple on this side and a couple on that side. And they'd be pulling out all the trash. And some of it does go right down. As we mentioned outside, the berries have those compartments and they float. But that's also what makes them bounce. And the bad stuff is going to bounce right down here, and the good stuff is going to come right out here. So I'm just going to show you that real quick. And they'd be pulling out stuff that's no good, like that. We let each child have a turn on the sorting machine, and they love it. And that's pretty much it for the sorting machine. Oh, I wanted to mention about the white ones. Okay, I do a lot of cooking with cranberries. I make whole berry cranberry sauce. If I'm lucky enough to get my berries right from a farm, the white ones have way more pectin than the red ones. And a lot of people don't know that. They're like, what's pectin? Does anybody have any questions for me or Bob about anything you saw or heard today?
The bog owners are basically relying on themselves to build their own contraptions. And I understand there's one contraption that Dick has that was built as basically a welder in training. So there were a number of spots where it wasn't quite as nice as it should be looking. So this is the suction box that sits down on the bog, and they anchor it to the bog, and then they start pulling the water in, and so you've got a big pump. There's no moving parts inside there, so it gets all pulled up and then pushed up that conveyor or that pipe into the hopper, and that's where they have the water nozzle coming down on straight down on it. And then on the other side, there's there's a truck that's situated, and that's accepting the berries. The berries come down into the truck, and he hits the horn when he wants the truck driver to move 5 feet forward, so he evens out the load. But it's all. Another spent his entire last winter building a new one of these, and this has a lot less hydraulic parts. There's a lot more hydraulics now that are in use, and it's basically you know and you know this truck doesn't level. Basically, it turns fast. The berries are not held on with a strong connection, so they hit the berries and they knock all the berries off. The berries have 4 air pockets in them, so they all float. And we actually use the wind, so we'd probably be taking off down that far end today if it was going this way. If there was wind going this way, we'd be taking off probably on this end. So once the berries are all floating, the guys who are on the reels just take off. They go to the next spot to work. The guys that came in to reel me my 1.5 acres, I had them in there last Tuesday morning at 8:30. At 9:20 they were backing up and going. And so it's a very fast process and a very efficient process. My guys actually have so they actually have an arm on the outside that they can put down into the ditch so that they'll get most of the berries out of the ditch. Although they don't want to get too low in the ditch, because the lowest berries in the ditch tend to be on again, off again, wet, and therefore you have much higher incidence of rot. So we basically will go around. Once that's done, I had my takeoff crew. So my picking crew was the guys on the reels. My takeoff crew comes in with a big lift truck, and they basically we put on another 1 to 2 inches of water if we can, so that it makes it easier to corral the berries. Most of the growers go around with a leaf blower and blow all the berries away from the edges, and then put a barrel is 100 pounds. These are a new variety. They're called Hayes, and when they're fully producing, you can get 400 to 450 barrels per acre. So you're getting a lot more. You get paid by the barrel, and guess who's it? So everyone says to me, well, why don't you just pull your vines and put in new vines? Well, in order to do that, you actually have to strip the entire bog, and you have to make sure you've stripped it enough so that you don't have the vines, the old vines regrow. So then you put in a new layer of peat or muck to hold the water, and then on top of that you put in 8 to 10 inches of new sand, and then put in a new sprinkler system. And bogs were replanted, I believe, 3 years ago. There's a lot of good growth there. They all grow. They grow as vines. And then you can see some of the uprights here that they have. So that, and the cranberries are very, very water dependent. A lot of people think that cranberries grow in water. They don't. Cranberries are a wetland species. They have a very shallow root system, so they need a lot of water. We have to put on approximately an inch of water per week onto the vines. Obviously, we prefer to have rain, but if we don't, we have sprinklers. Most of us have put in pop-up sprinklers now, which are just the same as your lawn sprinkler except a little taller, and they basically, we'll go down here and I'll turn them on so you'll see what it looks like. But it's they just come up, they're in lines, in rows, and the systems work very well. Back when I first started, we had wires that went down to the bog to find out the to keep track of the temperature. So we were actually, when our temperature monitor went off, all of us got up and went down and turned on our sprinklers, and then we drove around all night to make sure that our sprinkler heads were still turning and that they weren't, in fact, either popping off or getting frozen. So it was, if you had multiple nights in a row, it was very, very tedious. So within the past 7 to 10 years, we've actually come up with these little pop-ups, and they're all now computerized, so that when the temperature on the bog gets to a temperature which we have set, the computer automatically turns them on. So, and that in theory means that we don't have to get up and check our bogs, but there's still a lot of growers who will get up in the middle of it.
Hello, bulls. That's right. Hello, bulls. Yeah. Yeah. That away, bulls.